Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Carl, and welcome to Empower Multimedia, where we help students in college maximize their time in college, and we help young adults learn about entrepreneurship so maybe one day they can be their own boss. Today, we're going to be talking about the best 3 ways to help your business be successful, or like my professor likes to say, survive. Now, to give you some background about myself, I took an entrepreneurship class in my master's called New Venture Formation, and it was taught by a multimillionaire entrepreneur that has a business in government contracting. That same professor actually also has a small incubator where he has helped 7 different companies survive, is like what he likes to say, and they're each making over $1 million in gross profit. He's been around a lot of entrepreneurs, and I've been around entrepreneurs, and I could say these tips that he's giving you are very, very accurate. Let's begin. The first part in helping your business be successful is keep costs low. Now, in terms of like creating like a business plan, things like that, it's very, very important that you need to make projections on your cost analysis and see how much you may need if you need funding or just how much out-of-pocket costs you're going to need to start this venture. His point is you need to keep costs as low as possible because in the game of entrepreneurship, cash flow is king. If you run out of money, you have no business unless you get a loan or something like that. But cash flow is king. And you need to basically formulate your business, at least especially in the beginning, to run at a very marginal cost basis. If you don't, you're going to just dramatically heighten your chances of failing in a startup phase. So this is part 1, keeping costs low. Now part 2, having allies. Having allies may seem very strange, but it's not. And here's why. In his definition, an ally is somebody that you know that does something for you at no cost. Now, when he says that, he's not saying just to get free stuff from anybody, but typically when you start a business, your closest friends and families are going to do whatever they can in helping you out. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily you ask them for money, but he basically is saying in terms of allies, utilize your resources. So he gave some perfect examples. So let's say you're starting a company and you need to get your taxes covered and your cousin is a CPA and he offers to do your taxes, your business taxes for you for free. Once he does that or she does that, right then and there, that cousin becomes an ally to you because they're helping you at no cost financially. Now, typically, if you want to get like friends to help you or even family members, oftentimes you're going to want to barter with them so it doesn't seem like it's a hassle on their part. And by bartering, I mean they give you something in exchange, you might do something for them. So let's say, for example, if I had a cousin that's a CPA and they offer their service to me, then maybe in return, I would help them get organic traffic through social media to them. So that's how you would barter with someone. Whatever skills or services you might be able to offer them, by all means do that. So it seems like an equal exchange. Now, if you can do that, that significantly helps you. Now, people don't always have to give you something physically or financially to be an ally. They could simply be an ally by introducing you to someone. Maybe they know someone in your field that could really help you get a deal or put you on the path to success. They would also be an ally to you. The more allies you have in your niche specifically, the more likely you are to succeed and survive in your business venture. That leads us to part 3. The last step in helping your company survive, especially in the startup phase, is pivoting. Pivoting is the act of transitioning your business from where it was previously. Pivoting is vitally important if you want to succeed. It's actually quite startling how many businesses fail because they are reluctant to pivot. Now, an example of pivoting is a perfect example in my case. In my social media agency, when we first started, we were doing strictly Instagram growth. In the beginning, that was fine because we're getting some clients, but when we were doing some outreach, especially at like networking events, we were getting a lot of people asking and almost demanding like if we do Facebook related advertising. And at the time, we didn't. And it was getting to the point where we're actually losing clients because they're like, no, we don't do Facebook. And they're like, okay, see ya. And that's kind of like how it is. Eventually, we actually pivoted and incorporated Facebook and other different platforms that we offer. So now we don't really have any objections to what type of services that we offer. Pivoting acts the same way in whatever industry that you do. For example, if you're creating like an app or a product and you have an idea of what it is and what's it going to do, 95% of the time, the way your company started is not how it's going to end. You're probably going to interview some people if you have a product like an app or a prototype, and you're going to ask them, hey, like, would you think this is useful? They're probably going to tell you yes or no. And then they're actually almost always going to say, but can it do this? But can it do that? But can it do that? And that's going to lead you to pivot already, because what you have right now is not good enough to get a sale. So if you can pivot to meeting your customers' demand, then you're going to just help yourself be that much closer to being successful and surviving with your venture. Now, a little bit of statistics for you. Within the first year a startup is in business, about 20% of them fail. Now, within 3 years, I believe, around 60% of them fail. That's very, very drastic numbers. And my professor is actually doing some research on why that is, especially in capitalistic countries. Now, from his experience, and this is also, to be honest, a very small sample size, but he still does have a small group of individuals in his incubator that have implemented these steps. And 100% of them have survived past the 2-year mark and are striving and are what they would consider successful businesses. So I'm not guaranteeing you that this would do the trick and help your business succeed, but there is some strong indications that if you do implement these 3 steps, your business has a high probability of surviving. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. This is Empower Multimedia. If you like this type of content, please like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned until the next video. It's your host, Carl, and I'm signing out. Thank you.